Hello, everyone. I'm Glazer of the Snap Judgments Podcast, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. If you're interested in podcasts at all, or just want to hear great Marvel Snap discussion, over on the Marvel Snap YouTube right now is the almost 2 hour podcast featuring myself and Roy, the usual Snap Judgments post, with the great Drew Berry and the nerd Nerf Herder. Please make sure you check those out. They're really great. In addition, today we have two great decks for you. I keep hearing that people aren't buying the Phoenix Season Pass because the card isn't good enough. Well, someone who had never reached Infinite before hit Infinite with it in less than 1 day. That suggests to me card might actually be decent. In addition, we have our friend Peaceful Seas Sarah deck. It's a Sarah Darkhawk deck, so if you didn't buy Hitmonkey, but you have over the course of your playing had the opportunity to get Darkhawk, or if Darkhawk is in a early next season, what are they called, Spotlight cache, then you will have the Sarah deck to play to get you to Infinite. That's not the usual kitty Hitmonkey one. Now, before we go any further, I need you to subscribe. About 60% of you aren't subbed. Don't love seeing that. You're watching the videos. You're watching a lot of the video, a long time of the video. You might as well sub. You're getting 2 decks every weekday before the meta realizes what hit them that can help you get Infinite. We also offer personalized support and responses if you. So far, so good? Cool. Those of you who are subbed, one, I appreciate you. Hopefully you're getting great value from this channel. If you feel like there's something else I can do, let me know in the comments. But either way, hit me with the like and comment. It really, really helps that YouTube algorithm, and I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, so before we go any further, I promised on Friday I'd have my general snap and retreat advice for hitting Infinite. This is the advice that I run with. I've hit Infinite every single season except for the first time, the Miles season, because I didn't know what Infinite was when I first started playing. First, you need to retreat before the stakes double. If your opponent snaps, you look at your hand, especially if it's early. If you don't see an answer in your hand, like a good card, your deck's not doing what it wants to, and you have to draw into it, just go. That doubled stakes is a problem for you. It's not a problem for them. They have it. That's why they snapped. Just walk away. It's easier. Next, stakes always double on the last turn. If it's 50-50 whether you can win, you can stay in. But if you're just hoping they don't have it, run. If you're hoping that they don't have whatever their key card is, Hulk, Dracula, Apocalypse, whatever, just go. They probably have it. That's why they're staying in for the 50-50. If you both have it, however, if you both have whatever you have your ideal deck and you think it can be their ideal draw, at that point, you stay in. Because at that point, it's an actual 50-50, whether you win or not, and you're probably a little favored because you know what your deck does, you know what their deck does. Cool? But if you don't have it, and you're just like, if they don't have it either, I just beat them. Well, go, because there's a 75% chance in any given game that they drew what they needed. That's worse than a 50-50, right? The odds are no longer in your favor. You need to go. Conversely, snapping aggressively when your deck is favored through locations and matchup or draw is great. Basically, you have like Kitty on one, Kitty and Angela, right? And then you get Elysium, and you see that they're not a deck that runs Killmonger or Wave. Go for it. Snap. If you see, if you're playing a Thanos deck, and you've got Mind Stone, Bounce, and then Killmonger, and you've got Death in hand. Snap. You're going to lose some of them. But what you're fundamentally doing is you're making them pay. You're making them double the stakes to see if they can answer what powerful thing your deck is doing. Your deck should be doing a powerful thing, or why are you playing it? After you snap, if they stay and then they pull ahead, they clearly had the answer. Their deck is showing more power. Bounce is a great example of this. When Bounce goes off, nothing beats it. If Bounce has everything, you gotta go. Yes, you've snapped. Yes, the stakes are doubled. Losing 2 is better than losing 4. Losing 4 is better than losing 8. By a lot. However, if you have a counter, stick around. That's your big win. If you've got this kitty thing going and you know that they're not running Killmonger, so their answer has to be like, wait, right? Go off on turn, snap, you snap or let them snap back and you stay in. That's where you make that's the big win. When you know what their counter is and you're already prepared to be. All good? That is the best advice I can give you for snapping and retreating. I am currently reading a poker book as well because I want to be able to give you better advice. I take this responsibility seriously. In the process of reading The Theory of Poker by David Slansky because I want to be able to give you the best betting on the game advice. Again, hit that sub button, hit that like button, comment. All good? Let's talk decks today. Deck 1 is Day 1 Infinite Phoenix from a player named Savington. Sorry, excuse me. We better click over to the right spot if we're going to do this, right? Let's go right over to here so you can see that deck a little bit better. This deck is running basically a bounce engine package. This is exactly what one would expect were they thinking of the Phoenix Force deck, right? You want move cards and you want destroy cards. Well, first let's look at the move package. We've got 3 key move cards. We are not running Vulture. That's important to note. We're running Torch, Dagger, and Multiple Man. I strongly urge you to be very careful with destroying Human Torch. Human Torch is a card I will often play and move a bit, and then I'll destroy Multiple Man or Dagger instead. Killmonger is everywhere right now. If Phoenix grabs Human Torch, you're in trouble. Cool. The move cards that are moving these move enablers are basically just Ghost Spider and Doctor Strange. We've got no Cloak because opponents are all running the same thing, and Phoenix Force does a great job of bringing back whatever is important. You're not trying to move the cards with Strange and Ghost Spider until perhaps the last turn of the game, especially if it's a multiple man. You are trying to Phoenix Force and then use that last turn move for victory. So how you would do this is you would play, I'm going to use Multiple Man. Multiple Man is, I think, the key target because it's 9 power, 18 power with Shuri. So you would like to go something like skip 1 or play Human Torch, whatever. Turn 3, you want a Multiple Man. Turn 4, you want a Venom. Then in another lane, you want to play Shuri into Phoenix Force. Last turn, you want to move Phoenix Force over 1, then Ghost Spider it over to another place, and Shang it over to a third place. You've just moved 18 power over the board. It's crazy strong. You win. Your backup plan for this is basically to, instead of that, you go Shuri into Nimrod, and then you've got 12 power, and you use Carnage and Venom to then bounce them all over the board. I like having Nimrod and Soul in this deck. It gives a backup use case for the destroy cards, and how you would fundamentally do that is you spend turn 2 going Dagger into Ghost Spider or Dagger into Doctor Strange or Multiple Man, etc., etc. And then you're dragging power. You're getting an early power advantage that way. By the time you get to turn 4, that's Shuri, Nimrod. All good? That's basically the deck. It's a great way to put power all over the board. I really like having Nimrod and Zol in here, not just for the backup plan, but because Spider-Ham is everywhere. And my problem in the Surfer deck was my Phoenix Force kept getting pigged. When it wasn't pigged, the deck was extremely powerful. But whenever I got everything set up, down came a pig. Phoenix Force pigs are not a good card. Cool. Everything else works, and Nimrod and Zola help protect. You're going to be a little sad when you get everything set up and you have Phoenix Force in hand and no Zola, or you lose the 50-50 with Phoenix Force and Nimrod in hand, and then they pig you. But pigs in the game, that's the name of the game. There's no deck that isn't at least affected by it. Okay. Deck 2 is Serahawk 2. This is our friend Peaceful C's deck. Peaceful C is over on YouTube. I'm going to throw his channel in the description. And when you find our when you find Sleeper Decks of the Week this weekend, we're going to talk about this Serahawk in Sleeper Decks of the Week. Okay, how do you play this deck? This is doing your standard Kitty Pride stuff, right? You are choosing fundamentally, so you want a Kitty on 1. Good. Then on 2, you want an Angela. On 3, you want to play Kitty and Zabu. And from there, you're going probably Rock Slide into Sarah. Now, you've got 1,000 options once you've got Zabu and Sarah out. Your 4s cost 2. You still got a reasonably powered Kitty. You can put power on Angela. You can drop Nova and Killmonger, then drop Kitty. There's all sorts of power. If you've got a 2-power Darkhawk after a Rock Slide, that's also a really good spot to drop Korg, because that Korg is providing 4 power of stats. It's such a powerful deck. You've got an answer to everything. You've got something to do. So other playlines would be something like Korg into Zabu, into Rock Slide, into Darkhawk, into Sarah, into going off on the last turn. The Rock Slide on 3 is one of those powerful things you do in the game. Jeff provides reach, a little bit extra Angela power, as always. There's no downside to this deck. Everything works together. Killmonger solves a lot of the problems you'll have with other kitty decks. Shang-Chi solves a lot of those. If they're playing Iron Man, Enchantress takes care of that. Shang-Chi takes care of your Hulk nonsense. Kitty, Darkhawk, and Angela, along with the rocks in the deck, are really good against Lockjaw. This deck has no bad matchups. It is absolutely stellar. Occasional awkward draw order, but welcome to card games. That's a real thing. Peaceful Sea, again, has a beautiful video about this that will be in the video description. Don't forget to check it out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to sub. Check out the podcast. We appreciate y'all. See you tomorrow for another Snap Take.